Hello Nano Lovers! Welcome to our wonderful and informative channel NANOslim. Today I am going to show you Andrea's case. I will also show you another client's case to further highlight the same recurring problem that is commonly shared by women who use adhesive products. But we're going to focus here on Andrea's case, this beauty. Andrea is a dancer, so she really needs something that is exceptionally resistant. The hair definitely needs to be resistant to head spins and energetic hair flips. So, in Andrea's case, there's also this important aspect. She uses it for artistic purposes, let's say. But the cool thing is that the elastic barrier manages to fulfill all of these roles. So, before anything else, please subscribe to the channel, come join this amazing family and leave your like. Please comment, leave your feedback, suggestions, or questions. I would love to interact with you and share this with that friend of yours who needs to know about this wonder that is the evolution of mega hair NANOslim. So without further ado, let's get to this case. Andrea has a history of alopecia and she has always had thin hair. She doesn't use any chemicals on her hair and she also can't use chemicals. By chemicals, I mean things like straightening treatments, sealing, or the Brazilian blowout, because her hair would thin out even more and leave her scalp exposed. There was also a period when Andrea's natural hair loss became noticeably more pronounced, right? I'm not really sure what the reason was, whether it was COVID or something else, but she did have this issue, so she needed to use hair extensions. But her dream has always been to have that long, voluminous hair, right? But when she looked for a professional, the one who offered the adhesive with the best technique, she ended up getting shorter hair. So she kept it for a few months, did some maintenance, but what I'm about to show you is going to shock you. The way Andrea showed up here at the salon. So get ready everyone. As you already know, I share my Google photos, so let's go. Etendai. Oh, here we're having an informal chat and I'm already filming over there, right? Look at this thing, look at the side. Guys, the thing is coming loose. And there she is filling out the anamnesis form, the liability waiver, where we explain NANOslim, talk about NANOslim, and write down how many grams the person is buying, right? Then everything else. And you saw that I already zoomed in there, right, on the part that's showing. For those who have little hair, this becomes even worse than for someone who has a larger amount of hair. It's very, very uncomfortable, honestly. So her hair was just hanging down and I actually hadn't even looked inside yet. Alright, let's take a look inside. Look at how she arrived here. And it hadn't even been 30 days since she had maintenance done. All the hair was loose. These tapes, right, these pieces were attached to just a few strands. That means it came loose because it pulled out her natural hair. It also ends up causing microalopecia on our client's scalp, okay? It's very uncomfortable. Look at this. The adhesive is like a sandwich, right? With the structure, adhesive, hair, adhesive, and structure all combined together. So it actually starts slipping and it gets really, really sticky. When she dances, for sure, her scalp gets really hot and she sweats. So there's the perspiration, which is made up of water and salts, which also helps to loosen, right, this adhesive. The oil, which also helps to loosen the adhesive. So the fact that she dances, heats up her scalp, ends up being the perfect scenario for this adhesive. It doesn't stay firmly fixed on her head because she sweats, a condition that includes everything the adhesive really dislikes: heat, oil, salt. And that's basically the recipe for having hair that just falls apart from your head. The finish is really uneven, right guys? These scattered pieces get forgotten. They create a gap, okay? When you brush your hair, especially at the ends, you may notice that there are some patchy spots. If it slips just a little, it already goes past the cut line. So, we have to carefully think about the hair extensions over the entire period of time the client uses them. If she's going to keep them in for 60 days, they need to grow out evenly so the cut and the ends stay even. Now, if it already starts growing out all uneven, what does the finish at the base of the ends look like? It ends up all messed up shit. It's just wonderful, right? So we don't have to say anything worse. And now, showing the finish, let's move on to the removal, right guys? It's really terrible, honestly, because we started looking deeper and you start seeing the problems, right? the problems, the flaws, the issue with the length, the issue with the cut. So all of that adds up to make the client really dissatisfied. Okay? That's the one I was actually zooming in on right at the very beginning, isn't it? That first video where she was filling out the form and I was already like this, right? It's hanging on by just a few strands. When I created the NANOslim, I based it heavily on the law. I really focused on consumer rights, the company's duties and responsibilities, the company's obligations, and my consumers' rights. So when I think that my client is forced to stay 1 month, 30 days, 60 days with her hair in this current condition, accepting this kind of finish on her head, I feel like I'm truly somehow doing my client a disservice, because it's just not possible, right? That my product would have this kind of finish, this kind of durability for my client. It's uncomfortable. So I was embarrassed, you know? In my own cases, they never really got to that stage, you know, of hanging like that. I always delivered really good quality, but the ends would often open up a lot and sometimes the piece would come loose. It never got to that point because I never liked those little pieces, you know? But it's unacceptable that the client has to put up with a situation like this just to have beautiful hair. And that's why I created NANOslim, okay? So NANOslim is really based on that, especially on the law, on consumer rights. That's actually very important to me personally. And you also really need to pay particularly close attention to the total number of hair bulbs. Yes, those wider spots you see are all the client's hair bulbs that are stuck there. There, a strand already came loose and the glue stayed in the hair. You saw that, right? I haven't even started the removal yet. And how do I always remove it? With a mixture of oil and isopropyl alcohol, okay? Exactly to be able to get all that gunk off the client's head, because this alcohol, it removes the gunk, okay? The oil helps to gently loosen and open it up, and the alcohol helps to remove this gunk, which can even get stuck in the hair. So now we've started the removal, right? I've already removed it, opened the tapes and took them out, and we can really see the amount of residue, adhesive, and glue that stays in the client's hair. And it's not just about the overall quality of the tape, guys, or even the adhesive itself, but it's also very much about how much my client's hair can actually handle this kind of stress and tension, right? And it's a lot of work too, because after we manage to remove all that residue, we still have to wash the client's hair, which is full of oil. You end up having to use shampoo and treatments that clean more deeply, but also dry out the hair more. So this isn't a healthy habit. It's not good. Of course we hydrate, but if you think about the fact that you need a shampoo that's almost like a detergent to remove all that oil, that's not healthy for our client's hair, okay? So there are these details to consider. So we've already managed to remove all the adhesive from her head. We haven't washed it yet, and the transformation is going to be huge, right? Because she's going to get really long hair. And we managed to blend her hair texture quite well and naturally into this hair, which has a smoother root and wavier ends. Asu. It's not exactly the same curl type as her natural hair, but she was still able to use it just fine because she wanted the extra length. And here's what I'm telling you, right? Take a look at the amount of hair with glue and the amount with oil. It's not a small amount for her since she has little hair. It's a large amount, and actually every maintenance session this much comes out, eh? So with each maintenance session, instead of the hair actually improving, she ends up losing this much hair, enough to easily fill a hand. This is truly terrifying for a client who has alopecia, a history of hair loss, very fine hair, or already has little hair. To lose this much hair every single time they come in for maintenance, it's terrifying. All the clients get really scared. And then the whole set, right, of the hair we removed, which was already small, okay? Plus the losses, right? The client's hair that unfortunately fell out with the adhesives. And then we do the complete replacement. And after the NANOslim is already applied, this is the final video, right? Where we were recording with her to show, you know, the hair, the difference in the hair. Even though I didn't film her from the front, I have other footage of her as well. And I'll bring more of her material in the future. So it really turned out amazing, right? We used 3 wefts and it was about 180 grams of hair, okay? There I'm teaching her. No, you just need to lean your body forward and I'll toss the hair. She's a dancer, right? She's not an actress. So Yeah, the result for her hair actually turned out really, really good. Absolutely fantastic. And she never had that problem again, of having one side of her haircut hanging differently from the other, which used to bother her quite a bit. And even for dancing, she said that the NANOslim was comfortable because it had a more natural flow. Those little pieces used to show when she turned her head while dancing, when she tossed her hair during the dance. So we managed to solve several of Andrea's problems. And I want to bring up, to further illustrate this issue of discomfort and hair loss when removing the adhesive, another case of a different client whom I won't identify. So the client arrived, and just look at the situation. Very tangled, right? There are lots of little pieces of adhesive everywhere. Yeah, look, there's a little piece here, another piece over there, and more pieces in the front, always missing, right? Hair actually is always missing, okay? A piece always falls off and another one stays, or the cut ends up uneven. We can see there that the stitching is very poorly done. The pieces, the wefts, are quite stiff. They're rigid and inflexible. It's bad, it's not flexible, okay? Look at that. When you pull and a little piece of hair comes out, look, and the hair loss actually pulls it out by the hair bulb. This one had already come out. This one had already loosened. It was already out. When she came in for maintenance, these two little pieces had already come loose, okay? So look at the situation the client goes through. Guys, it's complicated, right? To remove it, right? To be able to open up this adhesive, this tangle. That's the kind of work we have to do, guys. It's a lot of oil, a lot of alcohol. It's horrible. All the combs get full of glue, all the combs get full of alcohol. It's dreadful. And this was the hair we were going to use on her, right? Look at the difference, right? There, we were just opening up the adhesives. The product we use to open up the weft, the adhesive isn't always stuck to the weft. It can end up stuck to the hair, okay? So it's harsh, and removing it isn't nice or good. It really is harsh. We can see that much of the client's hair has already broken, come loose, or been pulled out by the root and get stuck there at the roots, okay? It's really bad to remove the adhesive. I don't like it, no. I'm really not a fan, no. Actually, I'm not a fan at all, right? And then we get to the point where once we've managed to remove all the pieces, then you have to deal with this situation here. Look, the adhesive that got stuck in the hair. And this is honestly the worst part. To get these adhesives out of the hair, honestly, guys, it's really quite complicated and challenging because you have to be even more careful and gentle not to damage our client's hair any further. Look how really difficult it is, how it comes out along with the hair. It's already stuck to the hair there. It's already pulled out some hair. So see how difficult it is, okay? Afterwards, we have to come in with a towel and remove all the residue. We need to leave this hair super clean, 100% free of glue. So it's very complicated, okay? And we go slowly, we go carefully so as not to damage our client's hair even more. Look at this. It's a really grim situation, isn't it? Really complicated. Look, really complicated, honestly. You end up having to force the hair a little bit there. You can see that I hold the roots to take it out. And when the adhesive comes off, look at the surprise. It comes out full of the client's hair, right? An entire strip that left the adhesive in the client's hair. Look at how hard it is to get that out. What a struggle, right? Horrible. And after we remove it, the hair is just covered in oil. And then comes the moment to remove that oil. So we use more isopropyl alcohol. We use shampoo, a lot of detergent, sometimes even a mix, okay? That's the truth. How much hair actually fell out during this removal? Well, it was almost a whole handful of hair. For someone with very little hair, that's really quite a lot. It's the amount that would usually fall out over many showers, gradually, over time. But it all falls out at once. So it's actually quite an alarming amount. It's not normal. If someone tells you this is normal, I want to emphasize here that it is not normal. I'll be bringing more videos showing the health of NANOslim, the amount of hair that falls out, comparing the amount that falls out with other techniques to the amount that we remove during NANOslim maintenance. It's negligible. It's about as much as would fall out in a single shower or even less. And I'll be showing, how the adhesive wefts look with the hair loss, right? I have already pre-matched the color of this hair to be identical to the client's hair. So we've already washed and conditioned this hair. And at this point, we're going to apply the NANOslim product to the wet hair. You can clearly see that, just like with keratin, look how much thinner the hair has become. With each keratin adhesive maintenance, the hair gets thinner and thinner over time. It doesn't grow back thick, okay? It doesn't grow back. And this was the final beautiful result of the hairstyling. We used 3 wefts of NANOslim. Look at the density, right? Look at the distribution, the weight at the ends. It's a much healthier hair. It's a more beautiful hair with visagism. It's full, thick hair. It's truly beautiful hair with visagism applied. You can see it has density, that it's full, that it's beautiful. The finish with the elastic barrier provides essential health and protection for the hair bulbs. It's really fantastic, okay? NANOslim really does surprise a lot indeed. It never fails to surprise. It truly brings treatment to the client. And what clients report is that it improves comfort the most, right? It brings this beauty, but it's also very comfortable to wear and doesn't bring those worries. If that little piece is going to come loose, if it's already loose, if it's coming off, if it's going to fall off in some public place, if you're going to end up with an uneven cut. So NANOslim really brings, as I said, a series of aspects that align, that don't conflict with consumer law, with consumer rights, or with the company's obligations. And we provide quality services, but also services that come with guarantees, right? We really provide a guarantee for the use, for the hair itself, for comfort, and for the health of your hair. And that's NANOslim. So nanos really love. Did you like these cases? Do you know someone who perhaps struggles every single day with those stickers on their head? Then send this video to that friend of yours who needs to see it. Please leave a comment below with your thoughts, suggestions, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Come join this family. If you can, please leave a like to help support and boost our channel. Let's bring NANOslim to as many women as possible around the world so they can have a peaceful and happy life and truly enjoy their beautiful hair extensions, NANOslim. See you in our next video.